and all the educators at Minerva High School, who we highly appreciate and respect as learners, to the chairperson and members of the school governing body present here today, to the managing executive of South Sea, Ms. Lihle, to the South Sea Senior Manager, Organizational Effectiveness, Ms. Lerato Mfokeng, to the South Sea Managing Executive, Government Relations, Mr. Joshua Moela, to the South Sea CSI Manager, Ms. Juminawe, to the South Sea Marketing Team here today, to the Director of Schools Curriculum for Tshwane, South Africa, for Tshwane South District Number 4, Dr. Mvuyisi Isaac Silisa, to the Ambassador of my book, Amioli Goso, to the champion of my book, Usisipo Mkosi, to all my fellow learners, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. This afternoon would not have been possible without the generous sponsorship of South Sea. So first and foremost, I have to sincerely thank South Sea for the generous corporate heart you have shown the learners of Minerva High School. I know that through the South Sea brand, we can all be unstoppable. And at South Sea, today we are making sure that the careers of 1,400 learners will be unstoppable towards success. This is a huge investment that shows that we care about the future generation. We all thank you, South Sea, and we truly appreciate the soul of your brand. Fellow learners, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking South Sea through a big round of applause. So, my name is Lihle. I am 17 years old. Of Motivational Quotes for Teens, and I'm also the founder of the Future Global Leaders Club, a prestigious club of learners with an average of 70% and above. The purpose of the club is to motivate, inspire, sharpen the excellence of the members whilst rewarding them for consistent academic excellence. When I was young, I decided to learn from my older sister, Lihle. You know, she had motivational quotes all over her study desk, and they really helped her to study day in and day out until she graduated as a medical doctor. So I also started collecting quotes of my own to motivate myself, and by the end of 2021, I had collected more than 300 motivational and inspirational quotes. By April of 2022, my book was published when I was 14 years old, doing grade 9. And in 2023, it was then translated and published into French and Kiswahili. So when my book was finalized, I was inspired by the image that was used by the graphic designer on page 93 and 94. And I came up with my very own quote. The first one says, "Just as trees can grow tall in rough terrain, we too can be whoever we wish to be, irrespective of our backgrounds or circumstances."
Yeah.
As today's teenagers, there's no doubt that in South Africa, we are growing up in rough terrain. I say this because the social ills that surround us have led to the school dropout rate that is unacceptably high. For any 100 learners starting school, only 15% make it to matric, and only 6% graduate at university. And what is most shocking is that no one seems to be doing anything about it. South Africa's unemployment rate is 32%, and this ranks us number 67 out of 67 countries in the Global Competitiveness Report that is published by the World Economic Forum. To crown it all, the international benchmarks reflect that out of 39 participating countries, South Africa's grade 9 learners ranked 38 out of 39 based on a maths test designed for grade 8. Again, these grade 9s ranked 39 out of 39 countries when it comes to science proficiency. As a result, South Africa's NEET rate stands at about 3 million youths. NEET standing for the not educated, not employed, and not trained youth. We are indeed in a rough terrain, and this is very sad. The question is, what can we do about it as the teenagers of today? My book has a collection of more than 300 motivational and inspirational quotes from successful global icons. And what is most critical is my guide to navigating success, which is found on page 10. My guide highlights 10 attributes that are needed for one to succeed and lists them in order of importance. First of all, we need integrity. Arnold Hochschild says, winning is nice if you don't lose your integrity in the process. So when we're doing our assignments, writing our tests and exams, we need to win, or in this case, pass and excel, knowing that we did it without cheating or cutting corners. With this firm foundation of integrity in our lives, we need to be ambitious. People succeed because they are ambitious, because they have dreams and goals. These goals become the wings that enable them to fly through the thickest of clouds, irrespective of their current circumstances. Siya Kolisi defied his circumstances of poverty and started dreaming about being the best rugby player in the world. In 2007, Usiya watched the Rugby World Cup in a tavern because he didn't have a TV at home. He was not guaranteed 3 meals a day. He didn't have shoes, socks, his own bed. Sometimes he had to sleep on sweet water as his dinner. He lacked what we consider as the basic necessities. All Siya had was a dream, an ambition to be the best rugby player in the world. This ambition created a sense of purpose. It is no coincidence that South Africa has won the World Cup 2 times in a row, with Siya Kolisi being the captain. So to be ambitious is a key differentiator between success and failure. So let us start dreaming about those final matric results, about getting those 7 distinctions, or even making it to the top 1% of the country. Because in this way, we will be giving our lives a sense of direction. And now once we dream big, those big dreams that we have might scare us, and we will need to have the courage to go after them anyway. Mark Twain says, "Courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, but not absence of fear." So this means that even though we might feel scared, we shouldn't let that fear stop us from achieving our goals. We must always remember that Les Brown teaches us through one of his quotes that fear stands for false evidence appearing real. Hard work is a key towards the achievement of our goals. Summit Sony says, "Don't study until you get it right. Study until you can't get it wrong." This cannot be achieved without working very hard. Someone who really embodied this quote is Nthabiseni Mfopana. She was one of the top achievers of the class of 2023. And in an interview, she said that she was studying about 6 to 7 hours a day and increased that to 10 hours a day in preparation for her final exams. She did all the past papers she could find to the point where she finished all of the NSC Maths past papers and went into the IEB past papers. She even summarized all of the common questions that get asked and wrote a summary of all of the complex questions with their solution to always refer to. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow learners, I'm sure you agree with me that Nthabiseng really worked hard, and her hard work paid off as she obtained 100% for maths and physical sciences, 99% for life orientation, life science and geography, 92% for Isipedi as a home language, and 91% for English. Her story really makes us see firsthand that working hard is critical in the achievement of our dreams. This was such an extraordinary achievement, and I really think she deserves a big round of applause. And now, our willingness to work hard is always going to be confronted by a big challenge called lack of discipline. We have to be disciplined. Arden Melba says, discipline really means our ability to get ourselves to do things when we don't want to. This means that whether we're tired or have the flu or just don't feel like studying at all, we have to get up and do it anyway. If we lack discipline, our dreams and our success is at stake, because life is loaded with distractions that can only be overcome through discipline. And now, after we have achieved discipline, we need to be able to sacrifice. One of the quotes in my book by an unknown author says, if we don't sacrifice for what we want will become the sacrifice. This means that if we don't cut back on things that are unimportant and have nothing to do with our goals, then we will end up sacrificing the achievement of those goals. We will then need to persevere, because there are many difficulties and hardships that we will deal with on our journey to success. Now, what does perseverance really mean? According to the Cambridge Dictionary, perseverance means the quality of being someone who continues to make an effort to achieve their aims, even when this is difficult or takes a long time. Simplified, others describe it as the ability to keep doing something that is difficult. Perseverance is endurance. Perseverance is persistence. Perseverance is determination, no matter how impossible it seems. So when we hit barriers to our success, we must remember Dennis DeYoung when he says, winners are losers who got up and gave it one more try. So for example, when we find a topic that is particularly challenging, we will spend countless hours doing very difficult questions, and we might even have moments of self-doubt. But if we are able to persevere, we will be able to push until we succeed. My 8th attribute is image, because our image must always be in line with our ambitions. Les Brown says, dress like prospects, not like suspects. I take this seriously because double door opportunities are always open for prospects and doors are always shut for suspects. So our image, today and always, must continuously be reflective of our future as the global leaders of tomorrow. My other favorite quote that really sums it all up is by Zig Ziglar. He says, "You cannot climb the ladder of success with the costume of failure. I repeat, you cannot climb a ladder of success with a costume of failure. So let us therefore, fellow learners, double check if our costume or our style is aligned to the ladder of success that we want to climb. And now all these attributes put together will then lead to success. This is now when you would have achieved that goal that you've been working so very hard for. As Colin Powell says, there are no secrets to success. It is a result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure. Mrs. Mary Vilagazi applied this formula for success. She was born and raised here in Alexandra Township, did her primary education at Qatar Primary School, and partly studied at East Bank High School. Today, she is the first Black female CEO of a banking group in South Africa. Mrs. Mary Vilagazi is the group CEO of First Rand, a group that generates income of more than 87 billion rand per year and employs more than 38,000 people. So I really think we should give her a big round of applause.